And Justice Serve TV is live. We are in Salem, Massachusetts. Hey, is it possible that Michael Morrissey finally has pulled his head out of his?
Love you, Linda. Love you.
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing "Oh Happy Day."
One word prayer. Justice, where are you?
Ass. See, I want to make sure I finish.
Finish
that thought. Yeah.
Or if you were in Europe, it'd be arse. You know.
How's it going?
Oh, what is that? What
That's
do you
my
have
hand.
there?
It
That's
was a
what
tough.
was making
It was
so
a
much
tough
noise.
dinner. It was a tough dinner.
Oh my goodness
yeah.
gracious! It kind of looks like the pig roast I went to. Only the pig's head was a head, not a. Did you kill somebody? Did you murder somebody?
No. This was mine. I'm missing it now. It's a bit of a mess. I don't want to show the whole thing, but just the bones. Anyway, that's what's going on. I mean, in Salem, this is like another day. In which country here? Witchy poo. Everybody was warning me. Oh, you won't be able to park. It's so crazy. It's very expensive. I just got so lucky. This is the courthouse behind me. The Probate and Family Courthouse right behind me.
Can
what
you
is
kind of
interesting?
turn your body a little bit so we can see? Like,
get out of the way. Is that what you're saying? Get out of the way.
No.
Let me try this. Let's see this. Hold on. Let's just for the moment. Whoops, wrong one. I was trying to go to the shot of just me. But anyway, what is interesting, among other things, is look at across the street. Just like houses, just regular folks hanging out in houses.
I want to know where were the witch trials? Where were the witch trials? Because
haven't
it seems to me
been here long enough to figure that out. And then let me
Yeah.
just show you this. As I tilt up, you can see those giant. There's massive columns in front of the courthouse. So it's really kind of a very Supreme Court-esque kind of feel. It's a lot of marble columns.
Yeah. Are you dressed up? Besides, are you dressed up for Halloween early?
Not yet. I'm masquerading as an attorney, but other than that, no. So obviously, this is the scene, not necessarily of the particular crime in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case, but it certainly will be seen of a potential crime if things aren't properly handled here tomorrow. This is the courthouse, where they are going to look at, among other things, Justin Alien's request to get his hands on the equity, whatever there may be, in Kelsey Fitzsimmons' home. We believe, as we understand it, there's a contract either signed or eminently to be signed.
Right, a contingent contract apparently.
In escrow, as they say in the business. And so he wants that equity, whatever's in there, and it's estimated to be a couple $100,000. What do you need that for? Because she's got a little baby to take care of for 18 years if he has his way about it. It's a bizarre request, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think it's absolutely bizarre because, number one, there's been no determination that he's going to have sole custody. He's going to have to contribute to the baby's equity and care. And all he's assuming that she's going to be in jail. I guess this kind of indicates kind of a plot, doesn't it? To me, that, this is why, the baby now is being detached from its mother. And what do they look at? The best interest of the child. Has the baby bonded with the mother? Or if you rip the baby away from grandma and grandpa and daddy and give it back to mom, does the baby get hurt? Well, I think that's in their I think that's in the plan. And they're going to say to the judge, well, doesn't look like she's getting out of jail any soon, judge. And therefore, we want that money held in escrow.
Yeah. And every day that moves forward supports his position and really puts the court in a difficult position, because they have to they're going to look at the pros. The pros are going to talk about the impact of being detached and now bonding with the father versus the mother. All of that's going to be evaluated at some point. But for tomorrow's purposes, it's more about the money at this point. And we do know this just was evolving earlier today. I reported a couple of times about what the plan was, including the notice we got as Missy pulled up the pro hac vice. I'm sorry, pro hac vice. Getting my Latin confused. The habeas corpus, which was, and people think about that in the context of somebody who's been incarcerated illegally or improperly, right? But it really just means to remove the person from jail for a purpose. And it's a very broad category. And in this case, most will remember that at the last Salem hearing, they did not allow Kelsey Fitzsimmons to attend. They basically refused to transport her from Chicopee, Massachusetts, where I sat outside that facility one night as we did the show, all the way across the state to here in Salem on the water. And that was going to happen again when attorney Tim Bradel found out they were not going to transport her in the absence of a writ of habeas corpus. He filed it. What did you think about it being approved? Do you think even Massachusetts is not so bold as to deny that right?
Right. I actually, nothing surprises me here.
Yes.
But you see, we reported last night without reporting on it. We put the name of the new attorney that's going to be with Mr. Bradel in the family law. That's Julie Hess, Esquire.
Yes.
You see her name below here. And here's actually the grant of the habeas corpus petition to bring her to the courthouse tomorrow from the Western Massachusetts Williams Correctional Facility. Okay, so I mean, there we are, and there is. She's now represented, in addition to Tim Bradel, by family law attorney Julie Hess Esquire, who has quite the credentials. Let me just pull up, if I can, her. Hold on one second. You know that when you let me do this, it's always a let's see, add to stage. There's a two-step process you have to understand. First, we have to find it because it's in a different location than your photographs, and then I have to add it to the stage. And for some reason, I am looking.
You have to get rid of that one.
I have to get rid of that. That's exactly what has to be done. I have to get rid of that one before I add it to the stage. And there we go. This should do it. This should do it. Missy, why isn't this
Fingers
doing
crossed. Oh, I don't know.
Why isn't this adding it to the stage?
So you have a little her bio is what you've got there?
Yeah, I have her bio. You see it's in the PDF files.
Well, you can synthesize it for us. What's what's her claim to fame? What's her background? You read it.
Yes, I read it and I have it right here. But I'm getting a little annoyed because this would be like if I'm in the courthouse and I'm like, okay, I'd like to add this to the stage, sir. All right. So I actually have her bio printed out because I'm kind of old fashioned. If things don't work on the computer, I want to have the backup. All right. And she has her own law firm, the Hess Law Group in Massachusetts, right? In Boston, Massachusetts. I don't think you should point those fingers at her. Okay. Because not only that, she's been practicing for more than 20 years. She does some of the most difficult cases involving paternity actions, divorces, custody. She's defended people in the Massachusetts Appeals Court, right? She also has, her own family, but she's got a Juris Doctorate from New England Law School, Boston. She's a Boston girl. Pennsylvania State University, her BA. Right. So she has, as well.
There she is.
There she is. Okay. And we did put a picture of her. It was kind of like a hit yesterday to say, hey, guess what? Meet the team. Meet the new Kelsey Fitzsimmons team. And by the way, hardly anyone picked up on it. I think one person on Twitter did pick up on it. And there she is. But she is one dynamo, one dynamite. And this is not going to be easy, okay? Shall we say that with Tim Bradel, who has represented murderers and was a Suffolk County prosecutor doing the criminal, and with Julie R. Hess doing the probate family, with Tim Bradel in the backstage, so to speak, because he doesn't sign off on those papers. I think that Mr. Justin, alien as you call him, has a fight on his hands.
Yeah.
No longer is it going to be easy schmeezy.
Yeah, not that Tim Bradel's easy by any means, but Tim obviously is going to be here tomorrow. He sent me a note saying he would introduce me to Miss Hess, describing her as a pistol, and of course, she's attractive.
Typical man.
So typical man.
That never hurts.
So. And before we go on, let's because Nurse Deb, thank you, Nurse Deb. You're here, Mike. Thanks for showing up again. Thank you, Nurse Deb. We really appreciate that. As you know, we have committed ourselves to be on the line that if Tim Bradle can get the courts to release Kelsey with some kind of ankle scram or even urine testing or some kind of other testing, we have agreed to be on the hook for it at Just to Serve TV. No matter what you fundraise for her, this is our hook, so to speak.
Yeah,
So
just
we
send us the bill. We'd be honored to pick that up.
Yes, and we can pay through the bill. People say you can't do that. Yes, we can. Madeira Beach can give her outrageous. Madeira Beach, who's a hospice nurse, she doesn't pull any punches. F. Justin, suck it up like so many other single parents have had to do throughout history. Outrageous, maddening, beyond belief.
Here's one of the questions that I plan to ask, which I'm sure will not be answered. Is, you're a fireman, right? Don't they have weird, like, on 48 hours, off 48? I mean, isn't it kind of weird, less than a stable kind of schedule for raising an infant? Don't you think?
Well, except that he's going to have his parents help.
Yeah, well, so what? That's not helpful.
But Beach also donated another $10. Let's work on releasing Kelsey. That's what we're trying to do. Thank you so much.
So I think, in reality, that's what's going to happen. You're right, but that's not good. When you're making the argument that, hey, the baby's better off with me, well, you need to support that, and to say I'm not around for basically half the days of each week. Right. That says maybe there is a better place. So I can't wait to hear that answer. Maybe he's taking time off. That's it. He's taking time off.
We'll see. So anyhow, we have some ripperies before we get back to Kelsey for Simmons, because it's been quite a day.
I almost forgot. Got sidetracked here. Stand by. Okay, fire away.
These are going to be in no particular order. But Farwell, remember him from the Sandra Birchmore case, another black mark, shall we say, in the triangle of terror, as you call it, now expanded out to, like, I guess, what do you want to call it now?
We have a quadrangle. I think it's a quadrangle.
Quadrangle of terror. Here that you're in Massachusetts again, Michel Bryant. Okay, this is Farwell. Okay, something happened today that the United States of America, in the case where he's charged with murder of a witness, and the government has until January to decide whether they're going to seek the death penalty. Well, both the defense and the government decided that they would agree that a speedy trial would not apply. It will not start to apply his 70 days until next October 26, 2026, or the start date or proposed start date of his trial. A technicality, but if you're expecting anything speedy before that, it's not going to be happening.
No. So on the calendar is it October 5th now? Is that the official start date?
I thought it was the 26th, but it's October 2026.
Yes, it's definitely next year. Correct.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I could probably tell you by looking at this. October 16th, 16th and excluding October 5th. So somewhere's around there. Somewhere's in October of next year.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not putting that down in ink yet. Maybe in pencil.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening. And we did show you the written. Now, there's also something else that we're going to actually do a little short on this weekend. But I want to let you know in another little case that is in Massachusetts. This is, let me see if I can get it on here. The image. Yeah, I know what it is. I tried to do what you tried to do, which is go from your computer. Yeah. And when you go from your computer, I just can't add them from where I've stuck them into
of course.
Our pod.
You're right. That is correct.
That's what's going on here. So, and Karen Reed, in her civil case, they filed an answer. I'm not showing you the whole answer because we're going to go through that and then do a short, a little snack, a cup of tea, as we say, depending on whether you're me or Michael, and go through it. But, look at these affirmative defenses. She's got affirmative defenses she is claiming, and we'll have to explain what these are, including the plaintiffs are barred by the doctrine of unclean hands. Sounds a little bit, I don't know. It sounds a little bit, a lot to, there's the hands. Listen, can you get that off for me now that I've gone to this new way of doing it? This is not good. I don't know what I'm doing there. Okay, so
we'll get into that in some major detail. And when we say answer, it sounds like weird, but that's the official term of the pleading. It's an answer with a capital A. Yeah. And in that, you assert affirmative defenses. If you have them, they have. And we'll get into that when we do our little snack and splash of tea. It's a splash of tea. It's not like a full cup, just a splash. And we'll send that out this weekend.
And then
Whoa, hey.
another one. Whoa! Look at this! Look at this! Since we were in. I thought I'd take that picture, even though that picture, what goes with it, is a little different because it kind of was a little scary, right? That picture.
I'm scared.
Well, you know how we talk about fashion on this show. Well, we finally have a crime of fashion. As a matter of fact, here, this is Christina Chambers. She's accused in her driving in her $100,000 Porsche of killing a man on a first date after allegedly speeding through a Houston street at over 70 miles an hour. Supposedly, according to the prosecution, remember, she is innocent until proven guilty under the eyes of law, unless until a jury finds her guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But supposedly her blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit. But the defense claims, and I actually love this because if you look at my first book, which I'm not sure I have it. Yes, we do have it. Remain silent. This is kind of like an important clue in our first book with Michael and I wrote, a murder mystery book, Remain Silent. Defense claims that her designer Louboutin heels got stuck on the gas pedal, causing the crash. Could be. I mean, I never drive.
All of those things could be true. She could be very drunk. Well, let's face it, 4 times the legal limit, which would be a 0.32. You've got some heavy tolerance issues in your system because most folks, even light drinkers, you blow a 3.2 and you're unconscious, right? It's just so she's got some drinking in her history. Just my guess, but that could be true. And her heel could have gotten caught in the pedal. That's possible.
It could have got it right, exactly. And I always say, in many states you're not allowed to drive barefoot. But quite frankly, I think sometimes driving barefoot is safer than putting on, like, let's say, sandals, which I think could get caught and all. So we'll have to see. But I thought since we do fashion a little bit in the show, that this was a fashion case.
What was she charged with her shoe problem?
I guess it was murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of some sort.
Vehicular manslaughter or something like that.
Yeah. Some kind. Well, certainly the death. Okay. But anyhow, she is from Texas. Missy. I wonder
right around the corner.
You. Yeah, right around the corner. Texas.
Send Missy on that. Get her out there.
That's I send Missy on that. That's right. So we're going to take that. We're going to remove her from the studio. And then there was this person whose name we won't say. Okay, we won't say, but it's there. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This is outrageous.
This is incredible. This is Fox News is reporting, and I'm giving credit to my friend Mike Ruiz, who is Mike Reports, that Brian Kohberger will get a remote hearing. Oh, I said his name.
You just did. You blew that.
Remote hearing on November 5th on his motion to get out of paying all of the court-ordered restitution to the parents of Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves. Okay, 10 a.m., November 5th, 2025, with Judge Hippler. All right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty outrageous, but it is in the news, and it is important that we report that because, I mean, imagine if you're them, the victim's parents, he just won't go away, will he? He won't go away.
He has the nerve to try to get out from under part of the penalty that he is suffering as a result of the horrific murders of those 4 kids. And now it's like, I can't really afford to pay the restitution. So can you cut me a break? Well, I hope Hippler says, go to hell, get back to jail, have a nice life.
Yeah, have a nice life. And we're going to, we'll send just an alien out to you to show you how you can attach proceeds of your salary that you're getting in prison. I mean, you're a beach caregiver. You are pissed, aren't you? Kelsey would like to use her own equity funds to pay for her effing own attorneys. Yeah, how about that? I'm pissed. How much is Scram? It depends.
It depends. It could be a few hundred.
Thank you for the donation.
Monthly. You have to. Here's the way it works. You have to pay for the device. Then you have to pay for the monitoring, which depends on how many times you are monitored. If you do the urine testing, that's a per test fee. So, nobody's going to go broke doing it. But if you're in her position, if it's $300 or $400 a month, wouldn't you like not to have to worry about $300 or $400 a month?
Yeah, so, $500 a month or whatever it is.
Whatever it may be.
It'll be more if this judge wants 4 times a day of urine testing. Michel Bryant, we're going to have to get those subscribers into Justice TV quick. But if not, we're on the hook, and we agreed to do it because we think it's the right thing to do because she has other expenses to spend. And then we do have one more We have the writ. We do have one more thing, and it's kind of like collateral, but we're going to spend the last part of the show on it, and that has to do with Aiden Carney. Okay, now I can show the document, and we can talk about it after if you want.
Yeah, well, that was part of my tease when I asked about Michael Morrissey is he finally removing his head from his ass? Because remember, are we going to talk about this now, or are we saving it? You got something else you want to talk about?
No, that's well, I do want to talk about our show tomorrow night, but we can talk about this. We do want to talk about the hunt as part of the Rip and Read, but we can talk about this now.
Okay, so as folks will recall, not far from here in Dedham. In fact, when I was driving north, my car wanted to go to the Dedham courthouse. It tried to go there, and this is a little bit different direction. Anyway, at that last appearance, you'll remember that Cosgrove, very special, very, very special prosecutor Cosgrove, he withdrew officially from the 2024 witness intimidation cases against Aiden Carney. And the reason was because Lindsay G is suing him. There's a direct conflict there. How can you be a witness in a case in which you're prosecuting it? So he's out. Then the question became, well, who's stepping in? Who's going to be the prosecutor? And Judge Doolin gave them 30 days to figure that out. And they still had about a week to go, right? About a week left. And
until Friday, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, just so at least they didn't use up all their 30 days before they did the right thing, which was to no pros those 24 counts all related to that one incident, alleged incident, number of incidents. So those are now gone. Those have been dismissed by the prosecution. So
the other ones still remain, but
the other ones still they still have the same problem, because you still have on those, Cosgrove is still officially the attorney of record, the prosecutor of record for the Commonwealth. But they're going to have those same conflict issues, we think, as some of these collateral cases become a little more prominent. He could be a witness in a number of other civil cases or criminal cases. And if that becomes reality, then you're back to where you were with this one case that's now been dismissed and all of the related counts. So let's just say it's a big block that's been removed from the structure of injustice against Aiden Carney. It's now teetering.
I want to point out, you were there. Okay, I don't know if I can do this. Let me see. This is going to be a new one for me.
Oh, here we go. Cross your fingers.
This is a YouTube hearing. I don't know if I can do this, Missy. I guess not. I'm learning, everyone. I'm learning. They put me in charge of tech today, and I'm learning. I guess I can't do the YouTube hearing, which is 3 weeks ago when you were at the last hearing. I don't know if Missy has it. And it's only the first minute. It's it actually starts at second 40, about 40 seconds into it.
For those folks that may not remember, they came out of the courthouse after that initial hearing in which. Oh, we got it? Anyway, I chatted with the attorneys just a few weeks ago, contemplating this possibility.
And here it is.
Let's talk reality here. In 30 days, if they haven't appointed some magical prosecutor, will the court do anything?
This case is on life support. There's no prosecutor. There is literally no prosecutor on the 2024 case. One was removed by the court for making himself a witness. Two have had to withdraw for various reasons. The alleged victim in that case is suing anybody and everybody in connection with that case. Who's taking that case? Would you?
I will not take that case.
So, look, someone has to show up, but I think also the court recognizes that because of the legal maneuvering, that the district attorney doesn't even have the ability to appoint someone, because they're apparently going to get sued as well by this individual. So it's a fiasco.
So Judge Doolin made it sound like I'm laying down the law here. 30 days, got to be somebody appointed. Do we really think something would come of it if nothing happens, if nobody's appointed?
Well, something has to happen. If either dismiss or prosecute, one of the two. We have a right to discovery that's still outstanding, and that shouldn't stop because they don't have their house in order. So our position is get your house in order, and if you can't, then do the right thing and dismiss. End it.
And certainly the defense is prejudiced by that. Let's talk about the most recent case where you're waiting for some discovery that now they say will be here by the... So obviously he was predicting the inevitable. I'm a little surprised that it didn't have to go back through Judge Doolin to make that decision, that Morrissey's office finally said uncle, and and got rid of those cases. So
Yeah.
that's a third of them down, maybe even more than a third by total count. But in terms of case numbers, it's one of three.
And then before we go back to Kelsey, because that is incredible news for Aiden Carney, I congratulated them on X. I actually tagged Mark Federal wrong, and he said, it's federal law. I said, okay, congratulations anyhow, that is so great. I just want to remind you before we go back to Kelsey's case, which is why you are there and traveled all that way, and they're staying overnight, and will be there tomorrow at 8:30 again. And by the way, as a programming note, we will be on the air tomorrow about 8:15. You want to do 8 o'clock, 8:15. You're going to try to get some interviews going into the courthouse, and then you're going to come out and report from the courthouse, if I have that right. Correct, Michael?
That's the plan. We're going to be very fluid. We're not sure exactly how it's going to unfold. We may have a feed up, not from the courtroom. We'll talk about that in a second. But just something from here. We just don't know. So stay tuned. We know the hearing's at 8:30. I'll be here before that, hopefully getting some sound from folks arriving. And if nothing else, I will post that, even if we don't do it via a live stream. Then, as I mentioned earlier today, got our official credential, right? So with that in hand, I sent a note to the Honorable Mary Black. She is the judge who's going to be handling this tomorrow. And I was told by Erica, the folks in Boston, that to get approval to record the matter, you have to ask the judge in charge, which has been done. And it has been acknowledged. Now, here we are. What time is 6:30? The night before. It's going to happen in 14 hours, and I'm pretty sure the judge is not up looking at stuff at this point. So it may be a pocket veto. They just never get back to us, never say anything. But I'll check in the morning, and I'm ready to go. I got the gear. If they're going to let us record it, we'll do that. It will not be streamed. We'll record it, and we'll put it up as soon as I can do that, whip up the Starlink and get it loaded. But again, I used the example earlier today that there's a slightly better chance of being allowed to record it than there is Michael Proctor getting his job back. So it's not a great opportunity, but let's just say we're giving it a shot.
Before we get to Kelsey again, Romy in Massachusetts, member for 6 months. Hi, peeps. Thank you very much. And Karma and Dharma, right? Karma Dharma. Who's got a mug? Karma Dharma, did we ever get your address for that mug? Michael
where is that? The Ugly Mug Diner. Where is that?
Yeah, where's
that?
I mean,
it's not a big town. I went just behind the camera here, and off is a strip of stores and bars and restaurants and goofy people and weirdos. And I actually recorded some of that and posted it. For some reason, it posted sideways. Maybe it's the Salem effect. But that was just me walking through the street, give you a feel for this area. I'd never been here before. So that was my initial reaction to what was going on. So I just recorded some of that. I did not see the Ugly Mug. So I'm going to have to look
Ugly
for that.
Mug Diner. Okay, we'll see. And then before we go back to Kelsey, I just want to remind you.
Killed Stephanie Caroline
This is
Vilko
going on
in
tomorrow.
1968 as a
Restart that. There you go.
Let's restart that. And the reason why is because tomorrow, 5 o'clock, The Hunt season 2. This is going to be the hunt for, we think, who killed Stephanie Caroline Vilko back in 1968 in Oregon. Let's listen to our promo. And then tomorrow, if you are a member, by the way, you guys hit subscribe. And if you're a member, you have to join. It's $2.99 a month. You will be able to participate in trying to solve what we think is a homicide. Let's listen.
name is Paul Stark from Gaston, Oregon. He wants to know who murdered her. This case and her death has haunted him his whole life. And he came to us last year and he basically said, before he dies, he wants someone.
Wow, I stopped.
Yes,
I stopped. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it stopped. Missy, do you know why why it must be the witches in Salem? Okay. Anyhow, he wants someone to find out who killed her because he's lived his whole life being one of the last people, along with her brother, to see her when she went to a pool party, and then her remains were found 8 months later in a wooded area 150 feet off the road, apparently skeletonized. We know not very much about the case, and that's where you come in, Justice Servers, members of Justice Serve TV. to try to help solve this case. I will go through it tomorrow for about 30 minutes and 1 second as to what we want you to do and try to help, because you can be hands-on and give the information to Michael and I. But you'll see tomorrow. Yes, please go 5 o'clock tomorrow, Justice Serve TV for members, The Hut.
Cool.
Okay.
So here we are. You
Here
got
we are.
something else? I
Cyrus.
see you're looking for something. I see you're
No,
looking.
I'm good. I'm good. I think that we've been through it all. I never want to control the tech again. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, it's fun. So tomorrow, one of the most interesting things to be seen inside the courtroom, and I hope that we all get to see that via recording, but is to see how Kelsey Fitzsimmons looks. How's she doing? She's been in another, I want to say 40 days. I know that's close. I haven't done the math since her bail was effectively revoked. And, technically there's no end in sight. We know that the official appeal to the full panel has been made. We showed you that. We told you over the weekend it was happening. It happened on Monday. And according to my sources, they're going to have a supplemental filing. The code requires that it be no more than 10 pages. So you are limited not just in volume, but in subject matter. So that 10 pages would be tacked on to what the single justice, Honorable Elizabeth Dewar, what she looked at. So the full panel, minus Dewar, she'll recuse herself, of course. That leaves 6 justices. They will look at what was presented to Justice Dewar, plus this additional material, which may have been filed late today. I didn't get a chance to check. Maybe it'll come in tomorrow. We'll definitely be asking Tim Bradel about that when he's on the courthouse steps here, find out where that is in the process. And most importantly, get a clue when it might be heard, because my new buddy, Stephen, who is the clerk of the full panel court, they have it separated. Single justice clerk, full panel clerk. Stephen said there's unlikely to be oral argument. It could happen, but it's unlikely. And there's no official time frame for it. So, you just like to think and hope that they see it for the emergency it is and they get on it. But we'll find out more tomorrow from Mr. Bradel on that.
Oh, that's really interesting. By the way, Joy Schmehar is again a member, became a member. Thank you, Joy, for renewing that.
Welcome
membership.
back, Joy.
But, yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Michael. So they don't have under the rules any time limit. The 6 justices of the Supreme Judicial Court could be meeting as soon as they get notice that those papers are filed, because there's no responsive papers that can be filed. That is
correct. So as soon as and if you read the paperwork requirements, they say 8 copies need to be provided, and that's so tax dollars aren't spent on copies, which is funny. Anyway, so that way they can hand them all out and go. Everybody can dig into the material immediately. And I'd be shocked if they don't already have some clue, either directly from Justice Dewar or from just not having their heads buried in the sand. And I wonder, when you have a single justice review like the original request, does that single justice bounce it around with some of the other justices just to help her with her process? Would that be appropriate? I don't know if it happens or not. We know how judges talk, when they have difficult decisions to make. They look for, a little bit of insight from others. She's only been on the court a year and a half. It'll be 2 years in January. Maybe she's one of the junior justices. Maybe she would have looked for some help. So maybe some of the other justices already have kind of a foundational understanding of what's going on. So none of that do we know, just speculating.
And you have to wonder, are their heads in the sand? Have they not heard all the stuff that's occurring on TV, streaming networks like ours, social media? I can't imagine if their heads are in the sand these days, especially up in Massachusetts. I just can't.
You would hope not. I mean, I'm optimistic that that it's not. But as Stephen the clerk says, this is Massachusetts, which seems to be the answer to any confusion you might have about how things are going. How are things going? This is Massachusetts. Oh, okay. Thanks.
Oh Lord. So, any other news media out there, or are you it again, Michael Bryant?
Hold on. Let me look around. No, I see nobody. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if BZ or one or two of the local folks pop in. It seems that anything connected directly, indirectly within the proximity of other issues in Norfolk County, we're in Essex County here, it might be on the radar. Sometimes it depends on what else is going on.
And were you able to, in your research, because I know I couldn't find the judge with the baring teeth who put her in jail, find any case law where she may have been reversed or upheld? I couldn't just quickly, but I'm not a Massachusetts lawyer.
Yeah, I couldn't either. And remember the process, she's a trial court judge, right? And so with I don't know how many years she's been on the bench here. I'd have to double check my notes. But her decisions would have to go up on appeal, be reversed, and be recorded as opinions,
Right.
I haven't seen anything. I just haven't seen anything. But my research has not been exhaustive. I'll be honest.
Yeah. And do we know if the other judges have any relationship with her? I mean, everyone
there's a lot of speculation about all of that, right? Who's hooked up with whom and who's connected where and what's the motivation? That's because everybody wants to know the motivation. Why, when you heard what we heard on that audio, would you be so anxious to toss Kelsey Fitzsimmons back in jail? What's the deal? And so everybody tries to rationalize that because most of us are normal people. We're looking for why would somebody do that? I was listening to it. I can't imagine that scenario unfolding like it did. And on both an emotional level and a legal level, there's so many things she did wrong,
right,
which have been pointed out.
Right. And just to say, as Justice Dewar did, if she didn't abuse her discretion.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is a really good question, and I'm not sure we can answer it without asking the new attorney. Right? Extra cheese, crispy
Extra
cheese, crispy pepper. Oh, I love that. Might be a silly question. It's definitely not a silly question. It's actually a great question. But in probate court, do witnesses get to testify? Can Justice be put on the stand and ask why he feels entitled to Kelsey's house and money?
Definitely. Unless this is Massachusetts. But in general, if the judge feels that will help in the decision-making process, come on, have a seat. I think, and anybody else that might also be helpful to the story. If Kelsey Fitzsimmons is here, she's supposed to be, and somehow can help provide the court with an understanding of what's going on, I would not be shocked to see that.
Yeah. Whether it be under oath or not under oath. It's a great question. But in probate court, people do testify. We'll have to see whether the judge thinks there's anything appropriate. The judge may just say, you know what? No harm, no foul. We can put it in escrow, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have access to it for lawyers and things like that. Almost like a children's fund, right? Almost like
and to be honest, I wouldn't be bothered by that decision. Because where the money ultimately goes would still be determined down the road, which to me is the best answer. It's premature. It's way too early to be just saying, here, Justin, have a couple $100,000 and best of luck to you. It just doesn't seem like the likely outcome. But this is Massachusetts.
This is Massachusetts. That's our default position. But this is Massachusetts. As I said, even when I tried the Aaron Hernandez case with the witness, when I had my expert witness watching another expert witness, usually in most states, the expert witnesses aren't sequestered from watching the other expert witness. But apparently in Massachusetts, that's the norm. And you have to ask to have it be otherwise. I didn't, because I just assumed it was like all the other states have practiced around the United States. And the judge kind of like, after I kind of like violated their generic order, just at sidebar said, "Oh, Linda," and he just let me go. I mean, it was just like,
Linda.
Oh,
don't be
Linda.
so silly.
Yeah, don't be so. But that's what you get when you develop a good relationship with the judge. See, that's the thing. When the judge respects you and you have a good relationship with the judge, even if the judge doesn't necessarily like your client or believe your client is guilty, they will deal with you on a reasonable and rational basis. But not all judges. Not all judges.
Let me put in perspective where we are in relation to the last hearing here in Salem, because this is the family and probate court. It's not the same. It's a different structure, and it is, excuse me, a cord on my arm. Or maybe Maybe it's not a cord. So down the street is the quote normal state court, Commonwealth court. This is very special. I find it interesting that they went all out on the family and probate court in terms of a structure, that it is just, massive and all columns and pomp and circumstance. And the state courthouse, they have an old one and then they have a newer one, which is still old, much more, kind of low key, nothing special. But they went all out on this one. I don't understand that. That seems odd to me.
Yeah.
But it's down the street. This is a very small area here of downtown,
Yeah.
And as you're coming toward downtown, you see the signs, historic Salem. And, this is where everybody wants to hang out because it's very spooky. Yeah.
Kyle Sharkey did post this for us later today. And Kyle, you've been helping us, and thank you very much for getting documents that the former Salem court clerk was indicted, arraigned for stealing bail funds, using them for trips in Boston, October 22nd. You couldn't make this up. I was going to grab this as a rip and read, Kyle. I'm so glad you brought it to our attention here because I just ran out of time. There were so many rip and reads. There was so much happening. I was like, I think we need staff.
That would be nice. Yeah,
more staff. Missy needs staff. I need staff. You need staff. But this is a really interesting question from Spunky Nana. Let me just say to you that they're not going to be litigating the criminal issues here. What this is about is just holding the money in bailment for the child. If the child for the custody hearing. So they're not going to get into the criminal case, who did what to who didn't do what to who. That's going to be another location. And also she has a Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate herself. So we're not going to get into that tomorrow. They won't even get into the best interest of the child tomorrow. All they're going to get into is whether or not the funds should be held in escrow pending a further hearing on child custody.
Right. Not that I won't ask Justin Alien some of those questions because I'm very curious to get his take. I fully expect his attorney will tell him to shut the hell up, but I'm going to ask, and maybe we'll be able to talk to the attorney and just get at least something from that side to see what their position really is.
That'd be interesting. This is Massachusetts, Michael. Be careful because they could indict you for intimidation of a witness. God forbid.
Yeah,
you
right.
Have a microphone. Let's see. Do I have a microphone? Oh, yes, I have a.
You have your baby microphone?
I have the baby microphone. So maybe you should have bought the baby microphone.
Less threatening.
Okay. It's less threatening. This little say, look at this. Look at this. Look at it. This is
who
what
could be threatened by that.
This is what I get. All right. Because remember, this is what Aiden Carney thing's all about: shoving a microphone in somebody's face and saying, "Hey, X, Y, and Z." That's what the cases are about. So just be careful.
I will not suggest that he killed anybody. I'll probably draw the line. But yeah, there's some very, very legitimate questions that I want to ask the father and how he feels about his child being without his mother and what he really thinks that she did that requires him to step in and do that. I don't know. And how his life actually helps the child versus challenges the child even further. And isn't it really your parents that are raising this child? So anyway.
All these are valid questions. And quite frankly, these are questions the court should be asking. These same exact questions are the questions the court should be asking. Oh, my goodness, what was that?
It would sound like a truck going over a large bump. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I mean, where's Child Protective Services to reunify her child in what I want to know, and this is maybe from the state, in court, right, in the prison, in the jail. Why isn't the child being brought, or is the child being brought every day, every other day?
No. And we know, at this point, because of the temporary order, was not just let's take the child from the mother. It prevents her from having any contact with the baby. So in quote, normal circumstances where one of the parents might be incarcerated, there would be arrangements made for the child to see the parent. That is not happening here because the order in place says she can't. So
that's the rub on this, because it would seem to me otherwise, and we all know of cases, we all have had cases where children go to prison to get reunified with the person who may be in jail for murder, because they believe the best interest of the child is to have that relationship with the parents and all. And here, this child was ripped away while he was being breastfed, which is to me unbelievable.
Yeah, and if you folks haven't read the affidavits about what happened on that day, take a look, because it's to see how it all played out. Really, you can't believe it. It's like, well, if I wrote this as a scene in a movie, like, well, nobody's going to believe that. Forget it. But it happened.
Yeah. When Michael and I were writing our murder mysteries together, sometimes the editors would say, "Oh, that can't happen. No one's going to believe that." I said, "But that's the way it happened. It's exactly real, you know." And they, no, that can't happen. Yeah. Yes, this is actually, I think it's appropriate that this is in Salem, where women witches, where there were always women, I guess, were burned to the stake. Do you know that a grain of salt comes from the Salem witch trial? Do you know that? Because they'd put a grain of salt in a woman's hand, and if it stayed perfect, then it was fine. Then she wasn't a witch. But if it melted, which usually it did because you were so nervous and everything else, and so hot, and there's flames around you, you were then burned to the stake.
That is one odd test. I'm not aware of that test. I hadn't heard of that. The grain of sand test.
The grain of salt.
Oh, grain of salt. Oh, salt.
Yeah. Salt test, right? Okay. So taking that with a grain of salt, okay? That's where it comes from.
That's where that comes from. But look at how educational you are. Look at that. It's great.
You know,
is that going to be on the final or not?
You know, man, we had a vacation house near Salem. So
where were you? What town?
Yeah, it was in Marion, Massachusetts. Okay. It's in Plymouth County, about a half an hour away. Okay. And actually, that's where Salem would go, or Plymouth would go. You actually go to Plymouth, trying to find the rock.
You go look at the rock. Go, that's it.
To get the whale watching boats, which then had to travel for 3 more hours to get past Provincetown.
Yeah, you can't get there from here. Yeah, there's a lot of these little towns that there's not a real direct way to get here. I'm staying up the road a bit. People kept saying, "Oh, it'll be so expensive, and the parking's impossible." And it, the hotel is crazy expensive. I found one just far enough away that it's okay because I'm on a tight budget here. But if like a simple Hampton Inn near the downtown area, $390. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. That's maybe the scariest thing here is those kind of prices.
And Michael, this is really a very good question from Elm. I'm just saying. Yeah. Michael, please ask why he won't allow Kelsey's parents to be. That's a really good question. And Carmen Dharma, before you answer that, I'm going to put the suspense while you think about
Academy.
it. Yes, Tabor's in Marion, Massachusetts.
What is that? What is Tabor Academy?
It's a private school academy where kids go. It's like a high school, very famous academy. Kids learn about sailing and water, and many of them go on to the Coast Guard and all that type of stuff. Tabor Academy in Marion, Massachusetts. You're absolutely right, Carmen Dharma. Carmen Dharma knows her Plymouth County.
On it.
Yeah. So that, now that you've thought, all right.
Yeah, the grandparents question as to Kelsey Fitzsimmons' parents. They have made an application to have visitation rights. The clerk has confirmed with me that is not happening tomorrow. It would happen here because it is the probate and family court. Not happening tomorrow. That unless the clerk was not sure what's happening, it's not on the calendar. And according to her, it is not happening tomorrow. I would expect that the parents will be here tomorrow because they're going to get a chance to see their daughter, as a lot of folks have been wondering, how the hell is she doing? I'm sure they've had whatever contact's been allowed at the Western Regional Correctional Facility out there in Chicopee. But to see her much, in a more normal setting, as it were, out in court, they're not going to miss that chance, I can imagine.
All right. We have a lot of people in the chat who know Plymouth County. V5V, Catanza Golf Course is Tabor's home course. Yeah, Catanza was about was actually across the street from us. Walked my dog on Catanza a lot.
You had me at a golf course.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Actually, it's one of the ones with the PGA. It's on the ocean, and so it's a beautiful golf
Is it a
course.
link style? Is it a link style course?
It's a link golf course. Yes, it's a link golf
cool.
course. Exactly. Beautiful. So bring those marrying Massachusetts questions coming, because we did have as everyone knows, I have a vacation house everywhere in the world. I think
I need
these
as much
days.
local knowledge as I can get. So.
Yeah. So you
'Cause
know
I've-
about
I've-
the
you know,
Academy, you know about Catanset.
I've come through here because I saw the Plymouth Pebble. I saw that. And I'm sure I
Pebble.
went through here, but not really, embedded in the town. So this is all very interesting to me.
Yeah. Madeira Beach caregiver wants you to let Kelsey know. I don't think you're going to get a chance to interview her, but you will be a chance to talk to her parents. Yeah, we have to communicate through her by writing a letter to her in prison, in jail.
Yes. And we did advise Tim Bradle, and he was very appreciative, and I'm sure he will share that information as well, but we'll make sure she knows.
Yeah. A links golf course. I'm shocked that came out of your mouth. That's great, because most people don't know that.
Well, I'm a golfer. What do you mean? Of course I know a links golf course.
Most people don't know that. When you say Catanzas is a links golf course.
And you know what a links means? It means it's on the ocean.
I know what it means.
It's LINKS. It's not LYNX. It's on the ocean. There are a lot of courses that pretend to be links courses, but they're not. And it's obviously from Scotland, and where the cradle of golf is, St Andrews and others. Those are links golf courses.
Look at this. Look at everybody here who knows Massachusetts. Lindsay, okay. Lindsay Bay. Yes, you're always here. My parents had a place in Mattapoisett on the beach. So much fun. Yeah, Turk's Seafood Restaurant, best restaurant in the world. Turk Seafood. I know, and as I say it, you're going to say it. And who else? Kyler Seafood. Somebody whose family owns Kyler Seafood is in our chat, I think, tonight.
Wow.
Which is in New Bedford. So there's a lot of people in our chat who know Massachusetts and know Plymouth County a lot, as you can see, Michael Bryant.
Well, I did have before, coming back here, I got a little early, it was set up, and so I walked up and down and found this little joint, had some chowder, some pretty good chowder. It was, so thick. And what a crazy idea. They actually put some clams in it. You ever get that clam chowder that it's like all potatoes, or, just the broth, and you hope I got to put enough the little oyster crackers in there to give it something. This was some hearty chowder. It was very good.
It's some good chowder, and some real chowder too. It wasn't the Manhattan. It was the New England clam chowder. Sui generous. I hope you're feeling better. I hope things are doing better. We're all with you. You're on furlough, but love you. Can't
Thank you so much.
More. Sui, thank you so very much. You're just we're all our minds are melding with you, giving you strength and hope. So stay with us. Still, we love you. All right, let me see. Who else you got? Anyone else got some questions before we let Michael, who drove over 3 hours today?
Yeah, better than I thought, because I avoided most of the traffic. But yeah, it was good. It was worthwhile. Tomorrow is going to be very interesting, very important. And I do have my pocket breathalyzer. I'll see if Justin can give it a blow so he can experience how difficult it is. Anybody think that's going to happen? No,
never. Anybody. O'Bailey 71. Can the Commonwealth bring charges against Turtle Boy against a later date, or are these two cases over and done with? Were they dismissed with prejudice? I didn't look at the NOLA process to see whether it's with prejudice or not. Let me see.
Yeah, that was a question I had too.
My NOLA process on the floor. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you've got that filed on the floor. Yeah, I would be. If the prosecution null process and they don't do it with prejudice, I think it's a practical application. Are they really going to circle back and then reinstate charges? I'd say highly unlikely. Did you find your paperwork in your file?
I have it here in the computer. Let me just say, Commonwealth states that as a grounds, therefore, the interest of justice requires such filing. It doesn't say a one way or another. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it may be a Massachusetts issue, but I'd be shocked. I think it's practically speaking, it's with prejudice. But the words aren't there. This is Massachusetts.
This is Massachusetts. We go back to that. And that's not just us saying it. That's the people from Massachusetts and the court system saying it. That's
right. There's somebody inside the system saying that. So
cracks me up, but not in a good way. I mean, but
it's a head shaker.
Clerks, I've always found the clerks are very helpful in Massachusetts.
They've been amazing.
Really
both Vinny
helpful.
At the single justice level and Stephen at the full super helpful, super friendly. That's true too with everybody I've talked to at some of the trial court levels. Chief Rose and Dedham, all just amazingly helpful. I'm very excited that we have our credential this time, so I'll be able to whip that baby out and
I'm supposed to be filling mine out. I have mine over there. I haven't filled mine out yet, and I have to
has
fill
like
it
2
out also for
lines
New
on it.
Jersey. I will be. I'll get it. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I mean, and all. So, any other questions that you have burning? Because tomorrow, I guess, so you're going to be there about 8:15. Are you going to be on the air?
I don't.
Missy,
My
what do you say?
goal is
To get interviews.
to get stuff when they obviously
Okay.
after the fact, but beforehand, if I can, I will, and that's the priority. So if we come on, it'll be kind of last minute thrown together. If not, it'll just be posted, all of it later. And in fact, it may just be a whole combination of material from before, from after, and it'll all be smooshed together and posted later in the day tomorrow.
Okay, so Missy and Michael will be in contact with each other, and you have to subscribe to get a notification that maybe Michael is going to go on the air live. Maybe when he's there, he will do interviews live rather than just posting them. But you won't get that notification. You won't even get the notification that he's posted something unless you're subscribed to Just to Serve TV. So smash that subscribe, the like, the share, and the notify button. And the notify button, you have to hit notify all, by the way.
Yeah, it's all. They try to make it as hard as possible. Those damn
really
YouTube
do.
overlords.
Yeah. They are definitely overlords. Yes, make sure you say hello to Michael. Oasis Cat is telling everybody, thank you, Oasis. Remind that if you're going to be there tomorrow with the standout for Kelsey, say hello to Michael Bryant from Justice.
Definitely, yeah, and I will find you. I will find you. We know a few folks that are going to be showing up, so the more the merrier.
Yep. All right. I think that's it for tonight. We thank everyone for joining us. What a great community. And don't forget, tomorrow you have Michael. Be on the lookout, or Bolo, for all these things, all these interviews he's doing, because he's got 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back, all the interviews, the posting. And then at 5 o'clock, you have for the half an hour, the first episode of The Hunt. I don't think we're going to be doing a 6 o'clock show tomorrow night, although you may be throwing a bunch of stuff together. And
it's all very fluid. It may end up being kind of a glob. That's a legal term, a glob of stuff that we throw on at 6 o'clock. We'll see. That's kind of a loose plan anyway. But keep watching keep watching this space, as they say. We will.
And then on Friday, we're going to do, if Missy's okay with it, a premiere. We're going to be talking about the Teresa Fusco case, 41 years to solve a crime. Martin Tankleff will be on the show. He is if wrongfully convicted, an exoneree, a lawyer, and a Georgetown University professor. And he's going to talk about not only the 41 years of injustice, but 3 kids were wrongfully convicted. And he's going to talk about who is responsible for bringing justice now. Who really is out there. So that's going to be a really interesting conversation. That'll be 6 o'clock Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have different things for you that we're posting on Just to Serve TV. Little snacks, little tidbits, little teas, including the Karen Reed answer. So we're going to have a very busy weekend. And Monday, we'll have a very special guest.
Ooh,
6 o'clock.
yes.
So we're not going to announce it. We're not going to announce that till Monday.
It'll be somebody you know.
So,
is that safe to say?
That's all we have to say. But to know, you have to hit that subscribe, like, share, notify button.
All righty then. Michael Bryant here live in Salem, Massachusetts. We'll see you in the morning at some point for the hearing. Linda Kenney Baden, have a great night. This is Just to Serve TV. Please try to do the right thing.